because the candidate that I have warned you about, the one that you just heard disparaged in the attack ad, it appears in front. And I've warned against this because we have two candidates in this race, Bernie Moreno and Frank LaRose. Bernie, a businessman from Northeast Ohio, Frank LaRose, Secretary of State, who are competing for the same kind of voter. And then we have a third pseudo fake phony Republican, Matt Dolan, who is essentially a Sherrod Brown clone. That's why he's doing well, because he's getting votes in Northeast Ohio that previously were only Sherrod Brown's. And before you say, well, that's a good thing. We need somebody who can appeal to the whack jobs in the Cleveland area, and that's how we get Sherrod Brown out. Do you get Sherrod Brown out if you vote a guy in who is most like Sherrod Brown among the three choices you have on the Republican side? I would argue no. Matt Dolan is not an authentic conservative. Matt Dolan is somebody who has advocated for decidedly Democratic positions, chief among them his sponsorship, not just his support, his sponsorship of the Equality Act in Ohio. What would the Equality Act do, Bruce? Equality is good. Equality is good, except when you are forced, because of what someone else perceives as equality, to respect, uphold, and esteem agendas that you don't support. Say you own a home and you rent that home. It's not the home you live in. It's a home you own as an investment and you rent it to someone else. There are protected classes out there. You can't you can't discriminate on the basis of race. You, at this point in time, though, could say, no, I own the home and I don't want a gay couple living here because I don't share your view of marriage. Matt Dolan would tell you that you're a bigot in that situation and that you would have to rent the home because Matt Dolan, as a co-sponsor of the Equality Act, thinks that the LGBTQ movement should be a protected class, just like race is a protected class, just like gender is a protected class. Excuse me, sex, gender's the made-up concept. But the latest polling has Matt Dolan at 26%, Bernie Moreno at 23%, and Frank LaRose at 16%. Now, I have not said on the air since these three began their campaign for the U.S. Senate overtly which one I'm going to vote for. And the reason I haven't done that is because I think both Bernie Moreno and Frank LaRose would make fine senators from the state of Ohio. Infinitely better senators than Sherrod Brown. But this polling shows that Bernie Moreno is the choice who has the best chance to defeat Matt Dolan. And so I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to vote for Bernie Moreno. I like Frank LaRose. I appreciate Frank LaRose's service to the country. I think Frank is a good man, a well-intentioned man. Yes, I've heard the attack ads. I've heard him against Frank. I've heard him against Bernie. I've heard him against Dolan. There are ways to craft attack ads that you can make anybody look nefarious because of something that was done as an add-on to a bill or a sentence taken out of context, or you put a sentence with a video or whatever. Politics is a dirty business. It's a very dirty business. And it's not a business, as we know, because we talk about it every single day here. It's not a business, I was going to say overrunning with truth. It's not a business where truth is even like a mild ingredient most of the time. But I believe Bernie Moreno or Frank LaRose would make a great senator. It's clear from this polling Frank LaRose is not going to win. And Bernie Moreno can win. And so I'm going to tell you, you need to vote for Bernie Moreno because Bernie Moreno must win. Or we essentially put Sherrod Brown back in the Senate. Different body, different face, different name, same agenda. Same agenda. Matt Dolan does not support Donald Trump as the Republican nominee for president. Oh, he said you might vote for him, but he is not out there. How awkward is it going to be if you have a guy running against Sherrod Brown who is put on the defensive by Sherrod Brown in debates about Donald Trump and about, well, why are you even a Republican? And you can see how that's going to go, right? Don't you want a clear contrast between your Senate candidates? Don't you want somebody who can press the case against Sherrod Brown with conviction? I do, because there's a lot there to press against Sherrod Brown. So this is the polling. Dolan has edged ahead, and I said all along, I feared Moreno and Frank LaRose would split the vote among Republican primary voters, and that would allow Dolan to sneak in on the outside. He's a guy who, you know, born with a silver spoon in his mouth. His parents are loaded. I don't have any problem with capitalism and people becoming rich, but Matt Dolan didn't earn that money. His parents did. Bernie Moreno's a self-made man. So I'm chagrined to see that. There is some good news, though. The judge, and I was not optimistic about this last night when I saw that the judge in the Fani Willis, Nathan Wade matter in Atlanta had done a radio interview. I'm like, what? A judge doing a radio interview? Talking about, oh, you know, I didn't even give it a thought that I might have somebody running against me in the race for my judgeship. My kids are so young, they don't even know that I'm involved in this. But when, you know, they get older, I hope they know that I did everything I could to decide this in a down the middle fashion. This sent a message to me that Scott McAfee, the judge, was going to find a way to wiggle through the obvious, what should be disqualification of Fani Willis and Nathan Wade from this case, and leave them in place because Atlanta is decidedly Democratic, and that he was going to try to appease voters by keeping Fani Willis and Nathan Wade in place so that he could get elected as a judge. And this morning, about 20 minutes ago, Judge McAfee ruled that 6 of the counts against Donald Trump have to go away because, and remember, I told you all along, Nathan Wade, the prosecutor hired for $600,000 plus, $600,000 plus $100,000, was very inexperienced and was not qualified to prosecute a RICO case. The judge's ruling pretty much points that out. He's dropping 6 of the charges against Trump because he said Wade did not file the charges in such a fashion as to allow Trump and his co-defendants to really craft a credible defense, because it was pretty unspecific what he was being charged with. And one of the counts that they threw out is the statement from Trump where he was talking on the phone to the Secretary of State, and he said, "We're short this many votes, find me the votes." Now, the Democrats have put the worst face on that. In other words, go out and create the votes. That's what they say Trump meant. What Trump meant was, or what you could certainly, even in a court of law, plausibly position Trump meant was, I believe there's widespread voter fraud in Georgia. And so what you need to do, Mr. Secretary of State, is go out there and uncover the voter fraud. In other words, find me the votes. This is John Radcliffe butting in to my comments about Donald Trump and what this dropping of charges means. Okay, John, start over and tell us what it means. So we were hoping we'd get a ruling from McAfee this week, and we still may. John Radcliffe, former national security advisor to Donald Trump. What does he think this means? What am I doing here? John, take a chill pill. I'm ready for you now. What do you think it means as to the dismissal of the case? That's what we're hoping for, right? An entire dismissal of the case. Now, I don't say that because I'm in Donald Trump's pocket or because I'm a bootlick for Donald Trump. This is just clearly a over your skis, try to create buzz about your name case. That's why Fani Willis hired the media firm to monitor how many times she was mentioned in the media. It's also why she hired her boyfriend and paid him more than $500,000. She's clearly not qualified to prosecute this case, so hopefully it'll go away, and soon.
This afternoon, partly sunny. Our high today at 70. Cloudy, mild, a passing shower late tonight, low 50. Sunny clouds, a couple of showers, a breezy morning tomorrow. High at 73. Showers and a thunderstorm, breezy on Friday. High Friday at 61. And a partly sunny, breezy, cooler on Saturday. High Saturday afternoon, 59. Partly sunny, breezy, a much cooler day Sunday.
We'll be back with a little economic news, both in Ohio and in the nation.
Attention business owners, medical practice.
Appreciate you guys joining, and pardon me while I do a little research here on my next topic.
Throughout the year from your accountant, why not? I'm CPA Brad Hennebert from Premier Tax CPAs, and the true value of using a CPA is getting guidance throughout the year, not just at tax time. During the year, we can actively advise you on your financial, tax planning, and other major business needs, just like an outside CFO. Too often, when you see your accountant only at tax time, we're really only keeping score of what you did last year. At Premier Tax CPAs, we like to have monthly consultations with our business clients because important financial information is only useful if it's timely. See us before April 15th and get a free copy of my latest book, The Ohio Business Owner's Tax Survival Guide. At Premier Tax CPAs, we're a firm that can work with you and your business throughout the year to help you make decisions before it's too late. Give us a call at 614-524-4888. That's 614-524-4888.
Are you over 30 and putting off life insurance? It's time to get a quick quote from Ethos, a better, easier way to get term life insurance, all online with no medical exam. Answer a few health questions and you could be approved for up to $2 million. Isn't it worth 10 minutes to help protect your family's financial security? Ethos, up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Charles Payne.
$1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
She's gone from reporting on the sidelines to making sense of the headlines. It's the Michelle Tafoya podcast on the Salem Podcast Network.
There are people, Democrat operatives, that are saying, yeah, things are not looking good. Maybe Mr. Biden needs to bow out. Maybe the president needs to take a look at what's best for the party and say, you know what, I'm not going to run again.
Subscribe to the Michelle Tafoya podcast today on Apple, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Rumble, or at SalemPodcastNetwork.com. All rise. In a Massachusetts courtroom, the judge concluded that the defendant shredded evidence in the case. The defendant, Bernie Marino, who was sued for stealing his employee's pay. So before the trial, Marino shredded the evidence against him. Shadiness is a pattern with Marino, who quietly supported amnesty for millions of illegals, but now pretends otherwise. You can tell a lot about someone's character by what he does when no one's watching. Bernie Marino flunks that test. And Secretary of State Frank LaRose is no better. LaRose quietly spent your tax dollars to benefit himself politically. And LaRose changed Ohio's ballot language to affect the election results. It was a breach of public trust. Bernie Marino and Frank LaRose, if they're this sneaky and corrupt in Ohio, just imagine if they go to Washington. Buckeye Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertisement. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. BuckeyesLeave.com.
There are thousands of colleges that offer a quality education, but at Ohio Christian University, we also care about your financial future. Our Payback Promise is a loan repayment assistance program at no cost to you and is the safety net you need to take the next step confidently. Don't let your financial concerns about pursuing your dream to attend college hold you back. Visit ohiochristian.edu/payback to learn more. That's ohiochristian.edu/payback.
Hey, got a couple inquiries yesterday about patriotswitch.com/Bruce. That's good news. That means you want to eat healthy. That means you want to be healthy. That means you don't want toxins and all kinds of garbage in the products that you use to clean your clothes, to wash your countertops, to clean your dishes, mouthwash, toothpaste, personal care items. Pretty much everything you have in your medicine cabinet you can buy. from patriotswitch.com in your kitchen cleaning cabinet. And those nutrition bars, they have them too. All made by one company, all made from plant-based products, all shipped right to your door. Standard shipping every month, no matter how much you order, a truckload or a small box, $10. And they pay that back to you when you order the next month. Amazing. PatriotSwitch.com products we love. You'll love them too. My girls won't let me stop my membership, and they don't have to argue because we love our membership, and you will love it too. The makeup is fantastic, ladies. Check it out, PatriotSwitch.com/Bruce. Leave your information. I'll reach out and chat with you, send you a short video, explain the whole program, and get you on board. PatriotSwitch.com/Bruce. So we don't have much buzz this political season heading toward the general election because it's been a foregone conclusion pretty much since the beginning that it would be, if he could even wander off stage, not leave in a box, Joe Biden would be the Democratic nominee. And that Donald Trump, after a little bit of whining opposition from Nikki Haley, would be the Republican nominee. That is now official, as Trump won primary victories last night in Georgia, Mississippi, Hawaii, and Washington. So he has enough delegates to earn the nomination, and Biden has enough delegates to earn the nomination, presuming he can keep breathing. So where there will be a contrast between the two, and the contrast will be stark everywhere you look. On the border, for sure, that's the number one issue with people, but the economy is still an issue with people. And I want to talk a little bit about Joe Biden's plans. You have to think hard about what you're supporting if you are someone who does not like Donald Trump and can't bring yourself to vote for Donald Trump. Now, this is a difficulty for me, too, because somebody asked me yesterday. In fact, my good friend Alan Rogers asked me yesterday. He said, if it turns out to be Matt Dolan in the GOP Senate primary, will you vote for Matt Dolan? And I thought about it for about 15 seconds, and I said, no, I won't. I won't vote for Matt Dolan. I won't vote for somebody who is going to contribute to the continued degradation of truth by elevating the LGBTQ agenda. I won't do it. Donald Trump, even though he may not personally believe in being pro-life, has demonstrated clearly via the nomination and confirmation and subsequent rejection of Roe versus Wade, that he is someone who, as president, you could argue is the most pro-life president we've ever had. Dolan's pro-life, but as many homes as the LGBTQ movement has destroyed, no, I won't. I won't vote for Dolan. Hopefully I won't have to. Hopefully Bernie Moreno will win that primary. But as for Trump and Biden, the contrast is clear. And Biden's strategy, because of his failing poll numbers, is also clear. He just wants to buy votes. He bought votes in advance of the midterms by canceling, well, that's a euphemism, by passing student loan debt onto hardworking people like my buddy Chad, who's out there driving a truck right now, like my buddy Don, who's out there driving a truck right now. Good, hardworking people. My buddy Dave, who's a police officer in the city of Columbus. Lots of good, hardworking people out there. That's who he passed the student loan debt along to. So Biden has no compunction about spending our country into bankruptcy because, like I said, his goal right now is to leave the stage, however haltingly, just not in a pine box. He'll be long gone before our kids have to suffer the consequences of his inane economic policy. He proposed this past week a $7.3 trillion budget. A $7.3 trillion budget. Here's Charles Payne of Fox Business asking a simple question about why the budget has to be so much more than it was prior to the pandemic. During the pandemic, we sent checks to all Americans to pay their bills because we wouldn't let them go to work, stupidly. But now we're spending more if Biden gets his way with the budget, which he won't, but still, it indicates his priority or lack of priority on the future of the American economy with what he has proposed spending. No, it doesn't. It never stops. And you hear Biden talk all the time about we reduced the deficit. We reduced the deficit. Sounds like, well, this guy's doing a heck of a job, right? Let me explain to you what reducing the deficit means. Well, let's boil it down to your house. Let's say at the end of the month, your bills are $5,000 and your income is $5,000. What's your deficit? Zero, right? The next month, you have a 20% gap between the amount of money you're bringing in and what you have to pay out in bills. A 20% gap. You're 20% short. The following month, you have a 10% gap. Well, congratulations. You've reduced your deficit 10%. You're still in arrears. So when he talks about reducing the deficit, he's talking about the percentage of shortfall in our budget. We budget more than we have coming in. And when he talks about reducing the deficit, he's talking about the percentage of difference going down a little bit. The debt, the amount you actually owe, is always going up. That's why the debt clock, you tune in on any channel that runs the debt clock or any internet site that runs the debt clock's spinning like crazy. The debt keeps going up. So how's he reducing the deficit? Because it's a percentage. So he's lying to you, right? Because, as I've said since day one on this program, why do people lie? Because they don't have the truth on their side. Oh, speaking of lying about the economy, here is presidential liar-in-chief Karine Jean-Pierre. Now, the wages rising higher than prices over the past year is just a flat-out lie. There's no accurate measure, no metric she can use to prove that is true. None. That is a flat-out lie. The other two statements, inflation is down 2/3. Sounds great, right? Inflation's down 2/3. Yeah, it's hovering around 3.8%, which is down, in the most optimistic rounding down from 9%, it was down 2/3. It was not 9% when you inherited the economy, which brings me to her other statement, lowest core inflation since May of 2021. Who was president in May of 2021? That's right. It took Joe Biden 5 months to run inflation up to 4%. He inherited it was under 2%, which is the goal, which we can't get to now because of his spending.
This is an SRN News special report. Former President Trump partially off the hook in Georgia. I'm Rich Thomason. This concerns the election interference case against Mr. Trump and 18 others who are accused of conspiring to overturn the result of the 2020 election. White House correspondent Greg Clugston says a Fulton County judge has dismissed some of the charges.
The judge ruled that 6 of the indictments.
It's usually as calm as the lake. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office says a woman was forced into a car in this neighborhood. Neighbors say they're very surprised. Around Lake Osborne, bikers. Right here, babe. And neighbors picking up trash like Alyssa Suarez says it's usually as calm as the lake.
So it's a really quiet neighborhood. It's very peaceful.
She's one of many surprised after the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office arrested these 3 men. Spokesperson for the Sheriff's Office says all 3 are undocumented immigrants from Guatemala. They face various charges, but the Sheriff's Office says they forced a woman into a car, then committed sexual battery on her at 2 different locations before the woman escaped, then flagged a passerby nearby for help.
Sounds awful, and I hope she's okay. And sounds scary. It's definitely not the norm here.
I didn't hear anything. No sirens, no screams, no nothing.
Lauren Thiessen says she never worries about her kids playing outside. She says she's now concerned.
I have children. I have a younger daughter myself, by myself, going for walks. It's just crazy.
Court records show one of the men, Andre Felipe Morales, was cited in January for not having a driver's license. The citation was noel prosse, meaning the state attorney abandoned the charges. Records show the state agreed to abandon prosecution if the defendant provided or showed proof of paying $100 and obtaining a driver's license. We reached out to the state attorney's office past 9 p.m. tonight about how it's possible for him to obtain a driver's license if he's undocumented, like the sheriff's office says. Spokesperson told us he'd help us when the office reopens in the morning and he can get a good look at the full case file. For now, people continue to walk and bike around Lake Osborne.
Yeah, it's actually.
This is Josh Pick with Aptus Wealth Management. The U.S. and the world have certainly changed a lot in the last few years. We're facing money dangers that we haven't seen in a long time, maybe ever. Inflation continues to be a problem. Interest rate increases have made purchases like cars and homes seemingly impossible for some, and retirement looks like a scary proposition. For many, it appears to be a dire situation and has left them paralyzed and fearful. You are not helpless, and there are ways to gain back control. At Aptus, we help our clients navigate the labyrinth of retirement planning and educate them on how to make appropriate choices for their individual situation. Whether you have never met with a fiduciary investment advisor before, or you just want a second opinion, we're here to help. Call our office today at 614-917-1040 and learn how a cost-free complimentary meeting may be the key to putting your money to work and your mind at ease. And don't forget to listen to the Aptus Blueprint Radio Show Friday evenings at 6, Saturday afternoons at noon, or call our office today at 614-917-1040.
One service that's in tune with your needs. It's time to get the kitchen of your dreams. Update, upgrade, uplift with Kitchen Tune-Up. Do your cabinets need an update? Have you always wanted a new modern door style? Or maybe you just want to start from scratch and redo everything? Kitchen Tune-Up makes the process enjoyable and hassle-free. Stop in. Let's make a plan. We'll bring your vision to life. 0% financing is available right off Wilson Bridge Road in Worthington. Go to kitchentuneup.com for a free in-home estimate. Update, upgrade, uplift with Kitchen Tune-Up.
Because truth is not a left-wing value, and the left lies as easy as you breathe. You need the clarity and wisdom of Dennis Prager every weekday afternoon from 1 to 3 on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
The left lies as easy as you breathe. Man, is that ever true? You know what else is true? You'll save money at Soft Step Carpet and Flooring in Plain City. Yes, I work at Soft Step. I'd love to come to your home, measure your space, and outfit you with brand new carpet that you will absolutely love. Or luxury vinyl plank flooring. Looks like wood, looks like tile. Waterproof, scratch-proof, dent-proof. It is awesome. And guess what? A lot of people want hardwood flooring. You know what? Hardwood flooring, the pet does what a pet does on hardwood flooring. You got a problem. They do it on LVP. You get the towel out, wipe it up. Problem solved. LVP is phenomenal. Our carpet is phenomenal. We have all the major brands, and we'll get it installed faster than other big box carpet stores. Our prices are lower because we don't have the overhead that they have, and we would love to give you the chance to save that money and be pleased with the products that you get. You will be. Email me, brucehooley@gmail.com, or fill out the flooring inquiry form at brucehooley.com. Soft Step Carpet and Flooring on 161 on your way into Plain City, just down the road from Costco. Soft Step Carpet and Flooring. So I was discussing Joe Biden's wish list budget and why it is so terrible for our country. Let me just run a few numbers by you. He wants to spend more money than we spent during the pandemic, which I think everybody's back to work now, although the unemployment rate in Ohio is up, climbing. And that is going to be the case all around the country as our economy is going to stagnate, particularly if Wall Street gets the feeling that there are no interest rate cuts coming, because as we saw this week, core inflation was back up. It looks like inflation has plateaued at 3.8%. The goal is 2%, 3.8. If my math still holds from high school, it's been a while, but I think it still does. 3.8 is almost twice as much as 2%. Now, inflation, of course, is cumulative. So when prices are up, say in May of 2022, 9.1%, that was the highest inflation in 40 years. And then the next year, prices are up 5%. Oh, look, it came down 4%. Yeah, add the 5 to the 9. That means prices are up 14% since May of 2022. And generally, since Biden took office, prices are, and there are different sectors and different prices in the sectors, but you can pretty much be safe saying that prices are up across the board under Joe Biden 18%. And real wages are down 2%. Real wages, what does that mean? Real wages. Real wages means what prices were, what you were paid, how much your money could buy prior to Biden taking office, and what prices are now and what you're being paid and what you can buy now. So real wages are down. So it's basically a 20% wash, not to your benefit, since Biden took office. In 2019, during the Trump presidency, our debt to GDP ratio was 79%. That's lousy. But you know what? Under Joe Biden, it will be in 2025, 100.2%. You know what that means? It means we owe more money on our debt than our economy is generating. We will spend more if Biden gets anywhere close to his way on the budget. We will spend more on interest payments on the national debt than we will spend on our military budget. Military budget's pretty high. It's particularly high since Biden has found a way to finagle $300 million more in Ukraine aid, bringing the grand total, ladies and gentlemen, since the start of Russia's invasion of Ukraine to $44.2 billion we have given them. You say, wait a minute, when did these idiots in Congress approve $300 million to Ukraine? They didn't. Biden went around them. How can he do that? Well, he did it on student loans, and he's trying to do it on DEI programs, which I'll illustrate at some point in the show, maybe this segment, maybe next. Biden's $300 million aid to Ukraine, he says, is something that is of absolute emergency status. Where did the money come from? Well, here's the explanation from the Department of Defense. With a lack of replacement funds available, the administration had been forced to pause such packages since December of 2023. In other words, Congress wouldn't give us the money, so we couldn't give the money to Vladimir Zelensky. But now DOD is able to support this extraordinary package of aid after, here you go, identifying contract savings from previously appropriated supplemental funding that can be applied to replace what the Biden administration hoped to give Ukraine. In other words, they found laying around in the couch cushions money they hadn't given Ukraine, or at least they say they found money laying around in the couch cushions. So look, we didn't appropriate this. We thought we were going to. It was approved. We didn't. So, hey, let's hand that over to Volodymyr. This guy, this administration is so incredibly lawless. And yet they have the temerity to argue about how they're defending democracy. All right, let's get into the DEI stuff. In Joe Biden's $7-point-something trillion budget proposal, $7.3 trillion, he proposes spending hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars to train school teachers in, you can guess, right? You can guess. What do you think he wants to train school teachers in? You just said it, right? In your mind, you're going, I know, it's diversity, equity, and inclusion. Bing, 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 bing. Correct. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. $3 billion in his budget. $3 billion. Which is several hundred million more than was in his last budget. Now, let me see. Let me go in the Wayback Machine of Bruce Hooley's mind. What has happened since he proposed his DEI spending a year ago to the point where he proposed his DEI spending now? Oh, that's right. The Supreme Court said affirmative action is unconstitutional. You can't tell people that they are advantaged because of their immutable characteristics. That's racism. That's against the law. That's against the Constitution. But just like he did on student loans, where Biden said, the Supreme Court tried to block me, but I went around them. Thank goodness we have a president who's saving democracy, who has no respect for the third branch of government. I'm being facetious, of course. But yeah, he's going to propose more, even though the Supreme Court smacked him down on affirmative action. The budget includes a $30 million increase to the number of teachers who go through the Hawkins Center of Excellence, a federal effort that sets up programs to train teachers in inclusivity on race, gender, and sexuality. Now, that's discriminatory, But, you know, props to the Biden administration for finding a way to be discriminatory within a discriminatory program. The Hawkins Center of Excellence, a federal effort that sets up programs to train teachers in inclusivity on race, gender, and sexuality, must be, here's the discrimination within the discrimination, must be set up at minority-focused colleges like historically Black colleges, or universities or colleges focused on serving Native Americans or Hispanics. It's much easier to poison the minds of people toward white people when they are not white people, I guess, is the logic on the Biden side of the aisle. The taxpayer-funded program, just pause so that you don't miss the fact that you're paying for this, must examine the sources of inequity and inadequacy in resources and opportunity. Wow, is this a woke word salad? Oh, it gets worse. Wait, have some more woke words on your woke word salad. And implement, does anybody know what this means? Anybody but the Biden administration. You must implement pedagogical practices in teacher preparation programs that are inclusive with regard to race, ethnicity, culture, language, and disability status, and that prepare teachers to create, I can't even read this without laughing at the absurdity. Prepare teachers to create inclusive, supportive, equitable, unbiased, and identity-safe learning environments for their students. Your tax dollars at work, ladies and gentlemen. Your tax dollars at work. In another similar funding initiative, the Biden budget sets aside $95 million for teacher quality partnership programs. Another federal effort that administers grants for training teachers. This is just so incredible. So incredible. Actually, it's not. It's not incredible. It is perfectly on brand for them. And you have to say, you know, why would they stop? Like, why would they stop? They have been unretarded in their effort to ignore the Supreme Court. They have people who have no respect for the rule of law. In the same soundbite, then will turn around while defending something like this and disparage you, me, anyone who protests against it as being, pick your label, pick your smear, racist, fascist, whatever. And they cudgel people into silence, and they are not held accountable because how many media people? Daily Wire, Megyn Kelly, Newsmax. I gave up on Fox a long time ago. Tucker Carlson will hold them accountable on it. But this kind of stuff just continues and continues and continues and continues. So this is what you're voting for if you vote for this in November.
This afternoon, partly sunny. Our high today at 70. Cloudy, mild, passing shower late tonight, low 50. Sunday clouds, a couple of showers, a breezy warm day tomorrow. High at 73. Showers and a thunderstorm, breezy on Friday. High Friday at 61. And then partly sunny, breezy, cooler on Saturday. High Saturday afternoon, 59. Partly sunny, breezy, a much cooler day Sunday. High Sunday, 53. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
The new FedNow system is paving the way for the digital dollar, grants the government unprecedented access to your financial transactions. This isn't just an invasion of privacy, it's a direct assault on your liberty and hard-earned. It's another reason why I recommend physical gold IRAs from the Birch Gold Group. I'm Lance Wallnow. I'm a news analyst and a podcaster with nearly 25 million downloads to people just like you who cherish their financial independence. A precious metals IRA can help you avoid the scrutiny of Big Brother while also preserving your retirement savings through almost anything, including economic crashes, political instability, and even hyperinflation. To find out more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word FAITH to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and see how a gold IRA can help you. Text FAITH to 989898. Remember, there's no strings attached. Text FAITH and the number 989898 right now, and I pray you're blessed with continued prosperity.
How many companies would let you see how your product is made? At Miller Cabinets in Plain City, they're proud of their work. So we asked Bob Andrick, a longtime Miller Cabinets customer, if he and his wife Monica got to tour the Miller Cabinets plant and see how their kitchen cabinets were being made.
Yes, we did. In fact, we took a tour during the time frame that our new kitchen was in process, so we had an opportunity to see the cabinetry in process and went through all the steps from the door manufacturer, the box, finishing, and inspection, and it was very, very impressive.
So you get to see your cabinets being built.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
It was cool. And probably a little more lucky timing than anything, but it worked out just great.
Truly custom cabinets built just for your space. Let Miller Cabinets of Plain City help design and create for your home. Get inspired today at millercabinets.com. That's millercabinets.com.
AMAC is the Association of Mature American Citizens, an organization who's not only dedicated to America's seniors, but is vital for conservatives of all ages. AMAC stands out by not only advocating for senior issues, but also by pushing for conservative values that affect us all. By joining, you're not just supporting our senior citizens, you're part of a movement defending our freedoms and securing our nation's future. Plus, membership brings you exclusive benefits like discounts on travel, dining, entertainment, and special insurance rates. Regardless of your age, if you're driven to preserve freedom, AMAC welcomes you. This is about uniting youthful vigor with wisdom of experience in our quest for conservative principles. Sign up now at amac.us/fight. And for a limited time, get a free gift membership for someone who shares your love
in
for
commercial
our
now, but we
nation.
won't be
Don't
very
miss
much
out on
longer.
this chance to make a difference with AMAC. Join today at amac.us/fight and extend the invitation to a friend or family member for free.
Wednesday, March 20th at the Lazy Chameleon in Powell. Mike Gallagher, Bruce Hooley, Jack Windsor, and special guests live on stage. All tickets include food, drink, meet and greet, and Q&A.
So how do you fight back against all this craziness that the Biden administration is proposing and is doing, whether they are told to or not? Well, if you have kids at home, you've got to bulletproof them. You got to build a foundation under them. And there's no better place to do that than at Ohio Christian University. You can get a $5,000 OCU scholarship for just $2,500 and have your students start their undergraduate education at OCU in the fall of 2024. They're going to offer a BA in biology this fall. If you're an aspiring biologist, that's something that you should be excited about. They're also offering scholarships to help you achieve your academic dreams, and you can get one of those scholarships, $2,500 off your tuition, by going to the discount shopping club at 989theanswer.com. Do they have adult classes, Bruce? Yes, they do. What would you like your future to be like? Well, find out at OCU's website, Google Ohio Christian University, and take the next step toward becoming a better you and toward bulletproofing your kids against the wokeness that is out there in the culture. The Discount Shopping Club, Ohio Christian University. More on that same theme, fighting back. Thankfully, the Buckeye Institute is fighting back. They have sent letters to 3 law firms, 5 public law schools, and 4 Ohio bar associations, reminding them, hey, you're in the legal profession. You might want to pay attention to what the Supreme Court of the United States of America, keyword Supreme, ruled regarding affirmative action. They are telling these law firms and these colleges, if you continue to prioritize race, you are breaking the law. They sent the letters to the Akron, Cleveland, Metro, Columbus, and Toledo bar associations, also to law firms Eastman and Smith, Reminger Company, and Ice Miller, along with the law schools at Ohio State, of course, Cleveland State, Akron, Cincinnati, and Toledo. So there are clerking programs out there that advantage race. There are scholarship programs out there that advantage race, even in the face of this Supreme Court ruling that said you cannot do that anymore. And the Buckeye Institute is on this. They're making public records requests, trying to find out exactly how nefarious this goes. Who else is fighting against it? Well, here's a name you might remember, Ralph Reed. Ralph Reed, I think, used to be with what was called the Christian Coalition. back when Jerry Falwell started to exert political influence, the political power of the evangelical Christian movement. Now Ralph Reed is the head of an organization called Faith and Freedom, and he says, or at least Politico says, which I consider the source, they want to spend $62 million this year registering and turning out evangelical voters, texting and calling supporters. Now, $62 million is a lot of money compared to what the left has and uses at its disposal. It's a pittance, but can it do good? Yeah, it can do good. It's going to be a very tight election, I would imagine. I don't subscribe to the theory that Trump is ahead now and he's going to continue to widen his lead and Biden is just going to fall progressively further and further and further off the pace. Number one, because I don't underestimate the Democrats' ability to fudge with the election procedures like they did the last time with Zuckerbucks. And number two, because I don't trust secretaries of state in states run by Democrats, and there were swing states run by Democrats, Pennsylvania, Arizona. But this is a good effort, and I applaud it. They're going to knock on doors, call supporters. The $62 million that Faith and Freedom is going to spend is $10 million more than it spent 4 years ago. And one of the things they plan to do is to hand out 30 million pieces of literature in 125,000 churches. Now, when I read that, I asked myself the question, am I comfortable with that? And I'm really not comfortable with that. When I go to church, and look, I'm obviously a conservative Republican. I obviously prize and treasure truth and wisdom. I'm obviously looking to God for direction and guidance through prayer on how I should speak about these issues on the air in a way that I hope does not bring any disgrace to his name, nor does it keep anyone from coming to faith in him. But I'm not going to apologize for saying true things. I'm never going to apologize for saying true things. And I'm never going to allow people whose opinion is not rooted in truth to have influence on my opinion of myself. When that happens, when you are labeled, excoriated, criticized, smeared, encourage yourself by reminding yourself where those attacks come from. They come from darkness. They come from an evil place, and they are tools of the devil to stop you from saying true things and standing for truth. I'm not saying it's easy, but I am saying that it is essential. But I don't really want to be handed a piece of literature at a church, because when I'm at church, I want to be focused on worshiping God, and that is something that requires an action on my part. I'm not there to sit and be entertained. I'm there to entertain God with my worship. So this is Politico writing, okay? So I'm going to read you this and we'll discuss. The investment underscores the degree to which the white evangelical community. How do they know it's only whites? How do they know it's only whites? Like, we have minorities at my church. Northwest Chapel, 6700 Rings Road, Dublin, Ohio. You can hear our pastor, Mike Nimmer, every night at 6 o'clock on 880 AM WRFD. Grace Infusion is the program. Listen to it. Mike preaches through the Bible. He preaches truth. We're not a white exclusive church. That's such a ridiculous statement from Politico. Oh, the white evangelical community. Why do you think they came up with the term Christian nationalist? To smear us, to silence us. The smearing is part and parcel of the silencing. The investment underscores the degree to which the white evangelical community has allied itself with Trump, even as he faces a forthcoming trial on charges stemming from hush money payments to porn actors. See, what's wrong with you Christians? How can you support Donald Trump when he's in court over hush money payments to porn actors? Now, I'm not in favor of Donald Trump. He's an immoral person. I'm not vouching for his morality, but don't scold me and hector me about voting for Donald Trump based on his morality, when the alternative is a guy who will not at all restrict the murder of innocent unborn children, who will cut off the genitals of any teenager he wants to, who will allow anyone across the southern border to come into our country and murder innocent college girls. Don't lecture me on morale. Again, somebody whose opinion is not grounded in truth has no agency with me as I evaluate my political choices. Or an unkind way of saying it is, you've clearly mistaken me, Politico and Democrats, for someone who cares about your opinion of me. I don't care. Politico continues. It also reveals the extent to which Trump may have to lean on outside groups like Reed's for help. Oh, you mean like Joe Biden doesn't lean on anybody for help? Like he doesn't lean on, in the past, Black Lives Matter? He doesn't lean on Mark Zuckerberg? He doesn't lean on every leftist organization out there? He doesn't lean on Planned Parenthood? He doesn't lean on, teachers' unions? What a ridiculous statement. The story says that Faith and Freedom has begun registering voters in Wisconsin and Georgia and plans to further ramp up its voter contact effort in mid-July. Good. We fight not with the weapons of this world, but there's nothing wrong with fighting the same way they fight. We're allowed to go out and talk to people. We're allowed to go out and share the truth with people. One of the things that Faith and Freedom will do, it will distribute literature that will compare and contrast Trump and Biden on issues that are central to the religious community, such as abortion, Israel, and education policy. Boom, end of story. If you want to differentiate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, and you want to reach evangelicals, those are 3 issues on which you should be doing it. Abortion, Israel, and education policy. Biden wants it unrestricted on abortion. He wants it both ways on Israel. Oh, I support Israel, but by the way, we're going to build a port and put our soldiers in danger in Gaza, and we're going to bring aid in over the water, and it'll still have to be trucked into Gaza, and guess who will end up with it? Hamas, using it to, guess what? Kill Israelis. This is a great effort. All right, another day, another dollar. I hope you guys have a great day, and I appreciate you watching the live stream on my Facebook pages, my LinkedIn page, and I'd encourage you to go to riverbendranchsteaks.com/Bruce Hooley if you want great steak for that summer cookout. You'll never find any better steak than you will at riverbendranchsteaks.com/Bruce Hooley. So have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow.